Hello, folks. Welcome to this series of lectures that explore the fantastic and wonderful world of chemistry. So, you want to learn some chemistry, huh? Well, beware, Alice, because chemistry is a rabbit hole that leads to a reality that is infinitely deep and wonderfully complex. So, to be a bit cliche, stealing from the classic movie The Matrix, take on Morpheus's challenge and go ahead and take the red pill, my friend, and we'll just see together just how deep the chemistry rabbit hole goes. We begin our journey into this wide world of chemistry by discussing the broad concept of science. One of my go-to definitions is to describe science as a method of investigating nature, a way of knowing about nature that discovers reliable knowledge about it, where reliable knowledge is knowledge that has a high probability of being true because it's been tested, verified, and justified by a rigorous, reliable method. That reliable method, the scientific method, will be discussed in much greater detail in a subsequent lecture. Of course, in this lecture series, we're narrowing our view of science to the central science called chemistry. The word chemistry has its origins in the word alchemy. Though the alchemist's goal of obtaining gold from another element is not an impossible task in this modern age of science, and it's still a very tempting and worthy pursuit. We sort of have a different end game when we study chemistry these days. So let's get at a definition for chemistry. After Googling the word chemistry, I found a definition in the online version of the American Heritage Science Dictionary that defines chemistry as the science of the composition, structure, properties, and reactions of matter. But frankly, I have the concentration of a flea and usually look for shorter definitions if I can. So my favorite description of chemistry is one written by Professor Raymond Chang in one of his chemistry textbooks. His definition encompasses the wide variety of physical and chemical processes while also being, easier to remember. It states that chemistry is simply the study of matter and the changes it undergoes. Okay, I want to point out something extremely important about science and chemistry. The definitions of science imply that it's something we do, something we must work at. It's not a subject we can simply read about or impassively try to master by just, listening to some teacher drone on and lecture about this stuff, or even worse, knowledge and content understood while sitting around, watching a video series about chemistry. When we study science, in scientific subjects like chemistry, biology, or physics, we have to do something with the knowledge to really understand the material. Since science is an active, not a passive exercise, we have to sacrifice time and effort in using the knowledge. To truly understand the concepts, we have to tackle problems aggressively. We need to do experiments, and we want to explore and keep digging ever deeper into the chemical world. So how do we get the most from a study of science and specifically get more from watching this video lecture series about chemistry? Well, first, take notes as you watch the videos. The very act of writing things down can help immensely, and it's so easy to just start and stop the videos and give yourself the time you need to summarize and capture the content in your own words. Why don't you watch the videos with others? Or hold video parties where you discuss and teach the concepts to each other. Obviously, these kinds of parties are an acquired taste and work so much better when food, snacks, and drink are involved. Anyway, the thing is, most of us can agree that we don't truly understand a topic until we can talk about it and teach it. Also, don't forget we have the whole world out there, the web, and literally hundreds of textbooks right at our fingertips. Every fundamental concept in chemistry is covered in creative ways somewhere out there. A professor lecturing about chemistry is not really the gatekeeper of knowledge and content anymore. Also, the more we saturate ourselves in the content and listen to different voices and perspectives of the same material, the more we will solidify the concepts in our minds. And finally, as with anything worth doing, we have to practice, practice, practice. We need to work countless problems and take quizzes and tests. These assessments are critical to helping us organize the knowledge and getting to the place where we can use the chemistry. So, we're off, diving down the deep rabbit hole, Alice. We'll just have to see how far this world of chemistry goes. Catch you later in the next video.